What are the differences between the spirit world, the place that we came from, and the place that we'll go to after this experience is over, versus this experience, this 3D place that we're in right now? Obviously, there's quite a few, but there's probably a couple that you've never thought of, and I'm excited to bring you the perspective on those experiences and those differences in this video. There are so many differences between our spiritual existence and our 3D existence. It would take a long time to go through and describe them all, but pretty much everything is different. Everything that you're experiencing right now is completely different than your spiritual life or your spiritual existence. Let's not call it a life, because life is even part of this world specifically and not part of the consciousness, the global consciousness that you have outside of this world. Let's start with the idea that you are bathed in unconditional love and that you are unconditional love and that everything that exists is unconditional love. And when you are your spirit self, you are able to see this plainly and clearly. And everything that goes on, even here in this 3D realm that doesn't feel like unconditional love, when you are your spirit self, it is super clear and obvious that all of this, all that we experience here, is unconditional love. And it's unconditional love for itself, because this creation is our creation. It is what we wanted, and this is what we adore and love, always happening all the time. Because it's really hard to see that all of the things that we experience here are unconditional love. We go through so many challenges and problems and struggles and so much suffering that we think, this can't be unconditional love. When I am being insulted, or I am being fired, or I am being ousted out of some group or friend group, or if somebody is not liking me and taking something out on me, or I'm in a traffic accident, or I have a disease, or all these horrible things that can happen, the last thing we're thinking, oh yay, here's another example of unconditional love that I can embrace and love about myself and about the world and my experience here. But that's truly what's happening. And it's part of our experience that we don't see that, and then that we see something or that we experience something outside of unconditional love, even though it is unconditional love. So that's the fun or the challenge or the excitement about this experience, is being able to recognize that everything that's happening to us is unconditional love. When you can get to that point, then you are moving into a very enlightened state. Well, here's another one, and it's the title of the video. There's no oxygen in the spirit world. There's no reason to breathe. We come here to do many different things that we are unable to do in the spirit world. And that's kind of funny, because we often look at this 3D existence as limited. We came here to be limited. We came here to forget all of our universal knowledge. We came here to struggle and to have difficulties and to not understand what's going on. We came here to become limited. At least that's the way that we look at it in many cases. But actually, we are limited when we are just a consciousness or just our spirit selves existing in the spirit world. We are unable to experience emotions there, and we are unable to breathe. And you might think, well, okay, sounds kind of nice, because I wouldn't have to breathe. That means what? I'm infinite, and I don't need to breathe, because there's no reason to bring oxygen into your cells and to keep it alive. You're infinite. You don't have to be alive. You don't have to be kept alive. Your consciousness is in the infinite now. It is eternal. So that seems like a very good positive. But actually, breathing is something special. It is something unique. And it's one of those activities that you can do where you put a lot of consciousness into it, if you choose, or you put zero consciousness into it and it happens anyway. It's pretty much the only thing that's like that in this experience. Because, yeah, you can kind of control your heartbeat, but you really don't have that much control over it. That's just happening on its own. You can't control your digestive process. That's going to happen automatically. I don't know if anyone can take control of their digestive process. Maybe there's somebody out there who can, But for the most part, that's just happening. You are not making a lot of internal changes, but breathing is a big one. And so what I wanted to bring this to your attention for is, hey, enjoy this. This is one of the reasons that you came here. This is one of the experiences that you wanted when you chose, hey, yeah, I want to do one of these 3D things. I want to try that Earth experience. Give it to me. Okay, well, now that you're here, don't take it for granted. You've got the ability to breathe, and it feels amazing. And I would imagine, since I started talking about it, you've been sitting there going, oh, wow, yeah, breathing is pretty neat. You feel it everywhere. You feel it throughout your entire body. So embrace it and enjoy it, because in 80 short years, you're going to be back to being in the spirit world, where you're not going to be able to breathe, or you're not going to want to breathe or need to breathe, or any of those. The same thing is true of emotions, and I've talked about this many times. The emotions outside of this world are generally unconditional love. There is no need for the survival emotions. Which are the survival emotions? Pretty much all of them. Unconditional love doesn't really fall into the survival emotion category. Sort of does when it comes to your children, but outside of that, it really doesn't come into play very much, because if you unconditionally love the saber-toothed tiger, oh, tiger, I love you unconditionally, it's all over. So that's not a very good survival emotion. So fear is a much better survival emotion. Oh no, saber-toothed tiger, I got to get out of here. So why would we want to experience fear? Why would we want to experience suffering? Why would we want to experience all of these things that when we're here, we don't want to experience? We have ways to measure how miserable we are. We talk about how miserable we are. We complain to each other about how terrible it is here. We are very focused on wanting to not feel this way. Well, guess what? You're not going to feel this way when you're not here. When you are no longer a part of this 3D experience, you're moving back into the spirit world, where you're not going to be suffering. You're not going to be miserable. You're not going to have all this negative stuff going on. But you're also not going to experience all the beauty that we have here, all of the fantastic experiences, the excitement, the gratitude, the successes, the coming out of suffering. There are so many positives here. The beautiful sunsets, the things that we can see. Our ability to see is going to be completely different when we're outside of this environment as well. All the senses are going to completely change. They are very specific to this existence. So all I'm saying is enjoy it. All of it, including the things that you don't like. Sounds strange, right? Enjoy the things that you don't like, because outside of here, you're not going to get to, and you came here to experience it. So remember, breathe. It's one of the big reasons that you're here. Thank you for watching. If you would like a little relief from your suffering, you can download an activation off of my website, and I'll leave a link in the description. It helps you with nervousness. And I also highly recommend that you check out some other videos on my channel. There's so many more that bring healing and give you insight into all kinds of different challenges that we experience here, including negative entity attachments. Thank you so much for watching. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.